locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can call in, text in at 833-212-1017. Again, it is 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk and text line where you can call in and text in with your thoughts on today's show. Remember, this is the greatest 60 minutes in radio here at Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth. You can also watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube, where you can give us a like, you can give us a share, you can give us a subscribe, so you do not miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 Truth shows. Let me go to it myself. So I give ourselves a like and a share. You too, Rhea. And also remember, you can open up the app and stream us live on the 1017 The Truth app, so you can never miss any of your favorite shows or go back to listen to some of your shows. And I appreciate y'all. I went back to a show that I did a while ago, and I had a lot of listens. I said, okay, I see y'all Truth Nation coming through for your boy. So make sure y'all download that award-winning 1017 The Truth app. Shout out to my producer, Rhea Riley, holding it down on the ones and the twos.
Hello.
And shout out to y'all, Truth Nation. Now, I'm always running behind. I'm always running like a chicken with his head cut off. I tell you, I earn every penny of this check from about 8:45 until about 5 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be running around. Today was one of them days, but I was running late today, and then as I'm coming downstairs, I go get my water because I got to get some water. I got a headache. I haven't eaten anything yet. And Kristen Bride from 620 WTMJ, as Wisconsin goes, also, she does some stuff for the Journal Sentinel. She stopped me and she said, "Oh, you went in on Mandela yesterday, didn't you?" I said, "Oh, well, I didn't even go that hard." Now, it is 11:59, but I don't pass up any political conversation. I didn't go hard on Mandela yesterday, did I, Rhea? It wasn't that hard. I've gone harder.
I mean, you said what you had to say, but you also said you liked him.
Yeah, you always, what was it called? A compliment sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, a compliment sandwich. I mean, I was being, but nothing I said was false. And I went back, and so today Mandela Barnes did announce that he's running for governor of Wisconsin, as sources had said he would. Shout out to the sources for being 100% correct. He dropped it at 5 a.m., which was extremely early. I feel like it was like a scheduled announcement. Obviously scheduled, but I mean like on social media, like it's just scheduled to post at that time and coordinated with some other folks. And Rhea, I didn't say it yesterday because I didn't want to be mean, okay? I didn't want to be mean. I said it earlier in November when I heard that he was thinking about running, maybe October. And do you remember any of his commercials that he ran the first time when he was running for? Maybe not. They weren't memorable. Well, they were memorable for one thing. He said, my dad worked third shift and my mom was a teacher. Do you know in this video, the first thing he did was have his dad's union jacket and talked about how his dad was a union worker. I'm like, man, first and foremost, I love how much he loves and appreciates his father, but dang it, give me some stuff. Give me some stuff that you're going to run on. So what I did was I watched Francesca Hong, who is a Democratic socialist, listen, I think she has some good things, but I can't vote for her because she can't win the state of Wisconsin. Now, if she was running for mayor in Milwaukee, that's a whole nother story. Hell, you want to be a Democratic socialist, do whatever you want here in Milwaukee. But I watched Francesca Hong's little introduction video, and she talked about, I am a mother, I'm a business owner, I understand what it means to do this, and like this is what I want. She talked about the deliverables, the things that she wanted to deliver. I'm saying, man, it's so different when you actually want to do something versus having the opportunity to, just have a position. It's different to saying I want a title versus I want to work. That's my big thing. Is that up until I worked at The Truth, I didn't give a damn about titles. Matter of fact, I always ran away from titles. I just want to be an employee. I just want to show up to work hard, do my job. I never wanted to be. Matter of fact, I became my chapter president at the Zeta Iota chapter at Whitewater of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, and we have our Founders Day coming up on December 4th, so shout out to all my bros. But I remember we were sitting in the room voting, and they were like, well, who want to be president? And, I didn't want to be president. I said, listen, I'm going into the second semester of my senior year. I'm trying to kick it. I'm trying to chill. I'm not trying to do all that. I just want to be a member. And then all of a sudden, somebody snapped. I remember his name, AJ Jackson. Shout out to AJ. He works in media as well. He said, some of y'all in this room ain't stepping up like y'all supposed to. And he looked at me, and I said, oh, here we go. So I decided I want to run for president of the chapter. Just like when I was on Top Teens of America. I didn't want to be vice president. I didn't want to be president either. And I got out of being president, but they said, okay, Kyle, you need to be this. Like, people they push me towards the stuff. When I became the director of content here at 1017 The Truth, I didn't want this job. When we started The Truth, they asked me about some advice. Never once did I say, oh, I want to lead it. I just said, I want to help y'all. I want to help y'all find people to just, to be able to amplify voices. I didn't want to do it, but they offered it to me, and I felt like, you know what? This might be a sign that I need to do this. Okay, I don't want all that, right? I don't care about the titles. I care about the work. My title here has changed, but Rhea, do I still do the work?
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't give a damn about just as long as the check is good. I don't care about the title. I don't. Pay me, and I'll work hard, and I'll work passionately. And so that's why, when I see certain people who I know care more about the title than they care about the work, that's a problem to me. That's a problem to me. Yes, Rhea.
Only those who do not seek power are qualified to hold it.
So what you saying? I'm qualified.
Mm-hmm.
I be talking my mess here. I'm very confident on the radio. You have to have a mentality. I would say in my day-to-day, off air around here, it's work. I'm not a person that says, look at me, do all this. Look at my social media. I mean, honestly, look at my social media, my personal social media, I don't even post on there, do I, Rhea?
No, I don't expect much, though.
But some people, I don't post. Anything I share is like my cousins. Like, oh, look at my cousins who are doing good things. But I don't brag and boast about what I do.
No.
I don't even post on social like that. I don't want people all up in my business anyways. But make sure y'all watch the streamers live on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube, because today I'm going to break a little bit early, Rhea. Surprise. Yeah, surprise. I'm going to go to break at 12:10. But today I did want to have a conversation about I told you so. So as I said, I don't like to brag about things. I'm going to have a I told you so conversation, because for me, I think it's we have to understand that we have people around us and people in power. And I think this is a good day where Mandela Barnes announced that he is running for governor of the state of Wisconsin. I think it is a good day to talk about politicians and talk about leadership and what that looks like. I think it's a good day for us to really ponder this question, Truth Nation. And I want to go to break leading y'all into this. And make sure y'all watching streamers live on YouTube. Give us a like, give us a share, and give us a subscribe. What I want y'all to ponder in this next 3 minutes is I want you to know, do you feel the decisions that our elected leaders are making reflect the needs of everyday people right here in Milwaukee? I'll repeat that. Do you feel the decisions our elected leaders are making reflect the needs of everyday people here in Milwaukee? Are our politicians more focused on improving the city or maintaining their income? Maintaining the status quo, not trying to shake things up. That's something that I definitely want to ask and want to ponder, because as I share these next two stories today on Truth to Power, we're going to be talking about something that happened back in July. I had a show back in July talking about McGovern Park here in Milwaukee. We talked about how it is an aging senior facility there, that they had a golden ticket to repair that facility and make for a thriving community for our aging seniors to have affordable housing, to have quality housing, to improve the quality of life. And unfortunately, it was voted down. And all it took was 2 weeks for them to feel stupid about voting it down, and us now asking questions that I asked back then. What is next? What are we going to do? So Truth Nation, when we come back, we're going to talk about McGovern Park Senior Center. And if you are a senior who's listening, you would know that you haven't been able to be there since the floods hit the city of Milwaukee. So this is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Make sure you watch the stream us live on YouTube. But on the other side, I'm going to talk about how our politicians, once again in Milwaukee, did not have the foresight and did not have the, I'm not going to say intelligence, because they're intelligence, but they didn't properly go through a SWOT analysis to thoroughly try to figure out whether or not they should vote yes or they should vote no when it came to redeveloping the McGovern Senior Center. And now, guess what? It ain't going to be no more McGovern Senior Center. We'll talk about that coming up next. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And I ask you again, do the decisions our elected leaders make reflect the needs of everyday people here in Milwaukee?
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. On Saturday night, the Milwaukee Panthers return home to take on the Robert Morris Colonials.
Aguilar high on the right side. Defended tightly by Lawson. Takes him off the dribble. Gets inside. Left hand leaner. A scoop for Amar Aguilar. Dixon across the timeline with two. Dixon left of the lane. Corner. Hubbard. Three at the gun. It is pure. It is pure.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Talk to these people in terms of, how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the First Time Home Buyer Education Workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
You make time for everyone else. Family, work, everything in between. Now it's time to take care of you. If you're 45 to 64 and don't have insurance, or your plan doesn't cover screenings, you may qualify for free mammograms and Pap tests through the City of Milwaukee Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Awareness Program. Call 414-286-2133 to see if you're eligible. Real self-care starts with your health, and early detection saves lives. Funded by Wisconsin Well Woman. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/wellwoman.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, That's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
This Tuesday, you have the power to make a difference in the lives of Milwaukee's next generation of leaders. Milwaukee College Prep is dedicated to providing access to a high-performing education for their scholars, which lays the foundation for success in college and beyond. When you donate to MCP, you're not just giving money, you're giving opportunity. Every dollar you give goes directly towards enriching the lives of the 2,000-plus scholars who walk through those doors at MCP every single day. Listen, Truth Nation. Together, we can provide the foundation for bright futures for the MCP scholars. Give today on Giving Tuesday by visiting mkeprep.com/giving2s2025. That is mkeprep.com/giving2s2025. Also, just go to Google and type in Milwaukee College Prep Giving Tuesday. It'll take you right to the site where you can donate. I love Google. 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Make sure, again, you all watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like and give us a share, and also give us a subscribe. In addition to that, you can always call in or text in at 833-212-1017. All right, Truth Nation. Well, a few months ago, back in July, I did a show discussing how short-sighted folks in the community were when it came to the discussion on the potential redevelopment project at McGovern Park in Milwaukee. Now, I remember as a kid driving past McGovern Park. My grandma and grandpa lived over there off of Fairmount, and they lived close to Lincoln. And McGovern wasn't too far away from there, but I was more of a Lincoln Park type guy. But I've driven past McGovern Park my entire life. I mean, my entire life. I have driven from Milwaukee all the way to, because, you know, I went to where I went to school at. I had to drive past McGovern Park quite a bit. And so McGovern at this point, you know, it's an aging, it has an aging senior center. And we've discussed the fact that it had an aging senior center in the building that needed to be replaced or it needed to be heavily invested in to maintain. Matter of fact, it was going to cost $1.75 million over 5 years in order to make sure that it is staying maintained to a level where it was usable. Now, our community was offered a lifeline to rebuild that facility, that senior center, and add much-needed affordable housing for seniors through a $2 million federal grant that the county was going to get to basically redevelop that land. Now, in addition to that, they had an opportunity to partner with Jewish Family Services, which is an organization that is getting senior housing right here in the city of Milwaukee. Look them up. Look up JFS Senior Housing. You'll see in Milwaukee County, they have multiple buildings. They just completed another project where they have great affordable senior housing for our seniors and our aging population. The baby boomers are now senior citizens. They need to have affordable housing. And so, unfortunately, though, due to the go along to get along attitude the Milwaukee County Board foolishly has, they voted down actually expanding and building a new senior housing facility simply because the minority was too loud for them to take it. They said, oh, well, there's a little bit of outcry from some of the loud minority, so we're going to decide that we're going to vote against this. They voted 10-7 against redeveloping the senior center at McGovern Park. Now, at that time, I was extremely frustrated with how many people all of a sudden cared and were so concerned about protecting our public parks and our public lands. Let's be real, Rhea. Maybe I might be wrong. Now, you grew up in a black household like I did. Okay, so Rhea, did y'all hike? Did y'all do a lot of hiking growing up?
No.
Did y'all go to walk a lot of trails or bike a lot of trails?
I mean, I did live next to a bike trail and a park. So
you did. How often did your parents say, "Oh, let's do this once a week"?
I was like,
it enough.
We
didn't go hike. I get
Listen, well, all I'm saying is this. When did Negroes all of a sudden give a damn about all these greenery and spaces? Here in Milwaukee, I can't talk the East Coast or West Coast. I don't always hear people talk about, oh, my gosh, we need to save the planet with all this green space. I just ain't always been black people at the front line of the earth justice movement. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Okay, I know your mama and daddy sure ain't been talking about earth justice. Neither am I. I love greenery. I really do. But it was confusing to me. Out of all of a sudden, people were so concerned about saving our parklands. They argue utilizing 5.5 acres of 61 acres of land. They said that would be devastating to our community. It would just be awful. And I'm just trying to figure out, when did we start valuing a couple additional acres of land over providing high quality of life to our people? That is what baffled me so much. Our priorities seem out of whack. For one, again, I love greenery spaces. I really do. I advocate for them. I appreciate them. But what I value more is the well-being of our seniors in the community. People need to have safe, healthy living in affordable living spaces, in affordable living conditions and good living conditions as they age. That is something that is a need. That's not a want. That is a need. I would love for our seniors to have amenities and a great living environment for our elders to truly thrive in. They deserve it. But many of y'all did not see it that way. And know how I know is because I remember that show. I was shocked. I was shocked by the pushback I got on the Truth Talking text line at 833-212-1017. I was shocked y'all on 1017, The Truth on YouTube, was in the chat. Some of y'all disagreed with me. I thought this was a slam dunk. And at that time, I had one question for the board members who voted it down. My one question for the board members that I had back on July 29th who decided to vote down the redevelopment of the McGovern Park Senior Center that would build them a newer center, a better center, and also provide housing on the land. I had one question for those 10 Milwaukee County board members that decided that they did not want to redevelop that land and take the $2 million federal dollars that were going to be put towards that. And this is what I said back in July of 2025. My question for some of y'all who are against this, specifically for the 10 county board members, who I know some are probably listening right now. For the 10 county board members who turned down the redevelopment of 5.5 acres out of 61 acres of land for low-income housing that is desperately needed in our community, in a brand new senior center at McGovern Park in our community. For those who voted against it, once again, you have every right to do that. My question is, what's next? What is your plan? I know you did not vote no without having an alternative. That wouldn't be Milwaukee-like to vote no and just say, well, we'll figure it out later. Yeah, I was joking when I say that wouldn't be Milwaukee-like. That's very Milwaukee-like. That was back in July. I said, what is next? What is y'all plan? Now, because our county board members do not think through things, they don't think of every single possible scenario, right? They don't think of all the pitfalls. They don't think of all the threats that could potentially impact the longevity of a building. We find ourselves in a situation today, Truth Nation, where just a couple weeks after they voted down to redevelop that senior center, guess what happened? There was a storm. There was a flood. There was a flood here in the city of Milwaukee. You literally fast forward a couple weeks, and we had a historic flood that damaged McGovern Park Senior Center building to the extent where it has been closed ever since then. The McGovern Senior Citizen Center that we had an opportunity to get $2 million of investment money into that was voted down has been closed since the floods hit the city of Milwaukee. Now, it has been closed due to the fact that they're trying to remediate the mold that was in this building. Now, what would you know? A building here in Milwaukee that was built next to a pond 65 years ago inside of a flood zone, that's a deteriorating building, got flooded and has issues with remediating mold and being able to allow for people to come back into it. And what's crazy is I can bet you that the 10 county board members that voted against redeveloping that land believe in climate change. They believe that we are seeing more frequent and more intense weather patterns that will cause for maybe more floods like this to happen. And the fact that they understood that and they knew that and they did not evaluate the fact that weather could be an issue, flooding could be an issue in this older already building where you need to financially account for potentially having something like this happen, they didn't do it. They did not understand that that was a threat. You got to always prepare for the out the blue cost. And I do not believe that they thought about that. And now we find ourselves in a situation where leadership is now begging. They are begging Donald Trump for money to help fix this problem because they cannot remediate this mold issue. They have spores inside of that building, and they say they cannot bring people back in there because of the health risk, especially when you're talking about the senior aging population. Leadership is pointing the finger at the state for not giving them enough money, and I get it. Like, we don't get our fair share of money back, but that is what it is. That's the reality. Now, to put the cherry on top of this, Truth Nation, Milwaukee County Director of Administrative Services Aaron Hertzberg said the cost of repairing and remediating the mold from McGovern Park will outweigh the benefits of keeping the old, outdated building open. Before the flooding, there was an issue with the building because it was aging and it was in poor condition. It was only getting worse. And now we have a flood that basically said, y'all probably ain't going back to that building. Now, I know I cannot blame politicians for the flood damage because, again, that was an act of God. You can't control the weather. You don't know when a flood like that is going to happen. That was a historic flood that we got. But what I can do is I can call out the fact that had they done things the right way from the jump, we wouldn't be sitting here stressing about this building. We'll be talking about how it is unfortunate that this building has this mold, but Truth Nation, the conversation would be, well, we're going to tear it down anyways, and we have a brighter future. Because our leaders are either too scared to do what is right or not intelligent enough to analyze the situation, now we are right here in this situation, a horrendous spot. This is a horrendous spot where the federal dollar's gone. And the building y'all voted to save is now unusable. Let that sink in, Truth Nation. There was an argument about whether or not we should save this building, whether we should develop 5.5 acres of 61 acres of land back in July. In a building that y'all fought so hard for and that the county board members foolishly voted for is not even usable. Now, Rhea, ain't that a little ass backwards?
Absolutely.
I mean, but is that not the most Milwaukee County, Milwaukee type thing to happen where you've turned down $2 million of federal money to develop housing in a new building because, we want to protect the lands and we want to protect this building, and now you can't even use the building. And it's going to cost you more to get the building back up to code where people can actually go inside of it. Because of Milwaukee County board members' lack of foresight, now we all have to pay the price and are left with egg on our face. Even people like me who were adamant about let's let Jewish Family Services in Milwaukee County redevelop that so we have a brighter Milwaukee County for our seniors. I advocated for that new senior living facility in an updated community space that would have been state of the art. Now I got egg on my face, just like y'all. It is time for us to hold our politicians accountable for the decisions that they make which negatively impact us. They made a decision this July that they knew at the time was a risky decision because what they understood is that maintenance is forever with these older buildings. That building was built in 1960. The University of Wisconsin system built a lot of brand new dorms back in the 60s. And what are they doing over the last 15 years? They're tearing down the old and putting in the new. Why? It's because you want to make sure you have updated facilities for students, but also the deteriorating infrastructure and facility that they had. It wasn't worth maintaining that. You're better off in the long run investing now to build a new one versus pouring money into a bad building. 833-212-1017. I ended the last segment saying, Truth Nation, do you feel the decisions our elected leaders are making reflect the needs of everyday people in Milwaukee? 833-212-1017. I think this is a clear and obvious example of that being no, it's not. It is not. I don't know why. I really don't. And I even made a phone call today to the Milwaukee board member, Felicia Martin. I made a phone call to her today because that is her district, and she voted no. And I called her. I left a message. I talked to the assistant, and they say they're going to get back to me. I really want to know why, but I really want to know what's next. So again, last time I asked the 10 county board members and supervisors what their plan is, what is next, and this time I decided to call Supervisor Martin. I decided to call Supervisor Martin because it is her job as someone who oversees that district to have a plan for what is next. She voted no against the redevelopment, which again is her right to do. But now that we're in a space that building and that land that she voted to protect is now not usable, and now seniors have gone 3 months without being able to use that facility, and there is no date in sight where they think they're going to get that fixed. And you have the administrative person from the Milwaukee County saying, listen, we may need to face the reality that this building may not be usable in the future due to the fact that we can't remediate this, or the costs are going to outweigh the benefits. So now it's time for Supervisor Martin to speak up, because she has a duty, right? She has a duty to make sure that there's a contingency plan. She has a duty to ensure that these seniors have a safe community center that they can gather in. Because remember, she voted no against developing a brand new community center, and I wonder, would she change her mind now? Because her decision to vote no outweighs anybody else on that county board, because that is her district. If she said she wanted it, I promise you, they probably would have been able to swing it in a direction where they were able to get the votes that they needed to redevelop that. She told her district, we don't need state-of-the-art facilities. We can repair the old one. Now that the storm may have taken the old one away, she needs to tell us what is her vision and what is next. That is what I want to know. Because it has been 3 months. You should be able to answer this question. If she cannot answer this question, I don't know this woman. I'm sure she's wonderful. I mean, everybody's great. I don't know her. But I'm telling you this right now. If I get a phone call back and she cannot tell me what her vision or plan is, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. You had 90 days to figure something out. You always need to know what is the worst case scenario. And the leaders in Milwaukee did not evaluate what the worst case scenario was, and it hit. It hit 2 weeks after they voted no. And now guess what? Our seniors are SOL. Y'all know what that is. But 833-212-1017. I'll take your calls. I'll take your text next. Al, I see you on the line. We're going to get to you after break. Truth Nation, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all give us a like. Make sure y'all give us a subscribe. Also, if you have any thoughts or comments on today's conversation about the fact that the senior center, that we had a golden ticket. Y'all, we had $2 million. $2 million that was going to redevelop the senior center that was built in 1960, that was aging, outdated. It was going to cost us $1.75 million to maintain over 5 years. We had a golden ticket from the federal government to say, you know what? We're going to give y'all money to rebuild this. We're going to have the organization of Jewish Family Services is not only going to rebuild the apartment building for the seniors so they have a new space to live at in their community, but on top of that, we're going to build you a brand new state-of-the-art community center. And they said no. And now our seniors ain't got nowhere to go. 833-212-1017. We'll take Al on the other side. We'll take your calls. We'll take your texts. It's Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
This Associated Bank Sports Center update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Andrew Zimmel. The Milwaukee Bucks struggled Monday night in a 129-126 loss to the Washington Wizards on the road. Kevin Porter Jr. led the way with 30 points for the Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo in 32 minutes, 26 points. Next up for the 9-13 Bucks is a home game against the Detroit Pistons Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And the Marquette Golden Eagles are in action tonight, taking on Valparaiso Deacons. Tip-off tonight is at 7 p.m. at the Pfizer Forum. This True Sports Update was brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. I appreciate y'all, Truth Nation. Make sure y'all always download the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app so you can never miss any of your favorite shows. You can listen back to shows. We're also streaming on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. We're streaming on Spotify as well. So make sure y'all go back and listen to all of your favorite award-winning 101.7 The Truth shows. Now, on the other side, I was just talking about the fact that I just grow frustrated with our elected officials because a lot of times I feel like they're so focused on maintaining their seat in their job versus actually getting things done and moving the city forward. And I feel like they just take the lowest hanging fruit, or they allow for the loudest people in the room sometimes to push them away. It's just interesting to me when it comes to pay raises, they don't listen to people. But when it comes to stuff like this, that's a real debate. And again, you got people on both sides of this debate when it comes to redeveloping McGovern Park. They went with the loudest voices in the room, even though I feel like it is a minority. McGovern Park had an opportunity to have a $2 million investment in their facility that was built in 1960. The county board voted no. And literally 2 weeks later, the building was flooded and has not been open for 3 months. And they do not know when they are going to reopen the building. They had a lifeline. They had an opportunity to redevelop McGov Park, but they voted no. Stupidly voted no. And now we're left without having a senior facility for people to go to. 833-212-1017. Al, you're on the Truth Talking text line. What are your thoughts on today's conversation?
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I thought, Kyle, you said it was going to be affordable housing and seniors.
It's senior.
Is that correct?
Affordable housing for seniors. So it's senior living. And so with senior living, I believe that's 55 and up. I can confirm that. But I'm almost positive that would be 55 and up. But let me just confirm, because there's sometimes there's mixed housing with seniors as well. So.
Okay. I think it would be. I think it's okay if it's for the senior, but just remove affordable housing, because when you put affordable housing on anything, it is going to change the narrative on how people think. See, when I hear affordable housing for seniors, I'm thinking of seniors and they're going to have them badass kids in there, and it's going to tank the whole situation. Just say a senior center and take away affordable housing, because anytime you put affordable housing, that means chaos. You know what I mean? So maybe that was a reason why the situation was sunk. Just say
their main thing, Al. The reason why they said that they didn't want it didn't have to do with affordable housing in the sense of bringing in low income folks. It was because they felt like they didn't want to develop anything on those lands, right? They didn't want to develop 5.5 acres of our parklands. They wanted to protect 5.5 acres of 61 acres of land. That was the main reason why a lot of them pushed back. And matter of fact, I can probably find the quote. You can keep going. I think I have the news release of when Supervisor Martin.
And where is McGovern Park, by the way?
McGovern Park is off of Custer over there. I think it's like 4,800 in Custer. And it go all the, you ever been over there before or no?
I'm thinking like Westline, Haven Woods type of area.
It's not far away from there, yeah.
Oh, but it's a lot of homeowners over there as well, right?
Yeah, I don't, to be honest, I don't know if there's a lot of homeowners over there or not. I didn't grow up directly over there. I grew up a little bit away from. I grew off of 66 in Capitol originally.
Is it near Hampton?
You said what? It's Silver Spring.
Like 48th and Silver Spring. That's like near the Army thing over there. That Army thing over there.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's sort of a hit and miss, because farther up you got Westlawn. I don't know, but you have a lot of nature stuff over there too, so that could be another factor. But maybe they can find it and put it somewhere else.
Well, I mean, at this point, it was about developing McGovern Senior Center, which is temporarily closed. Al, I appreciate your thoughts and comments on today's show and chiming in. So that was my big beef and something that I took issue with. But 833-212-1017, again, that is the Truth Talking text line. And before I transition on to the next thing, is on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Shout out to White Widow, because White Widow, basically said, hey, somebody needs to contact. Y'all need to contact these supervisors who voted against it. I tried. I did. I really did. I reached out to Ms. Martin, and she did not get back to me. And her statement about, building housing, ignore the surrounding areas and all that. So I just want to hear from her. But as we transition on, there is another thing, because I wanted to talk about our elected officials, as today is a big day because another black man is entering the gubernatorial race. And now you have David Crowley and Mandela Barnes, which is fantastic that two brothers are running to become the top official in the state of Wisconsin. So I love that. I may disagree with, whether or not who's a better candidate or not. I think David Crowley is clearly a better candidate. But I think it is a great thing when brothers are running to lead the state of Wisconsin. Now, I want to repeat the question I had before about, do you feel the decisions our elected leaders are making reflect the needs of everyday people in Milwaukee? And I say that because last week, as we were getting ready for Thanksgiving, getting ready to eat, I've lost my Thanksgiving fat already. I'm back down to like 191.
How much did you gain from Thanksgiving?
About 195.
You took a really good poop.
I took a lot of them.
Oh.
I mean, you said it. So, I'm just being honest. I mean, we grown.
That makes sense.
That's what happens, And I haven't eaten all that food like that. But it is Pizza Tuesday, so I'm eating my pizza. But like I said, as we were preparing for Thanksgiving, the Milwaukee Common Council was deciding to gift we homeowners with a larger tax bill for 2026. Now, Milwaukee County Council voted to override Mayor Cavaliers Johnson budget vetoes that we talked about as well, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, it must have been. And what it did was when his budget vetoes, he vetoed the Sunday library hours. He vetoed additional funding for the fire department to help replacing outdated vehicles, and he vetoed the residency incentive for city employees. Now I am good with them giving the fire department more money. I've said that because I think it's very necessary that our fire department gets additional funds, because you can't have a fire truck going to a fire and the wheel falls off. That is unacceptable. So that was necessary. But the library and the residency incentives, I believe, are a bad move for the city of Milwaukee. Those, to me, seem more like wants versus needs. I'm a big wants and needs guy. That's what I do. I mean, you probably hate to be in a relationship with me, because I always say, do we want this or do we need this?
God.
That's what it is. Do we want it or we need it? And I want a lot of cool things, Rhea. Matter of fact, I was on Facebook yesterday. Somebody was selling a 2023 Audi Q3. I don't know, it was a truck, for $29,000. I said, well, I mean, that's a 2023, 30,000 miles on it. That truck probably originally cost like $48,000. I mean, I could get it and refinance it, and $29,000. I haven't bought a new car since 2012, and so I've been able to save up for years. I'm like, you know what? I might be able to get this and finance it and have me a brand new car. But I said to myself, baby, should I do it? She said, no, we don't need to do it. I said, you're right, because that's a want. That's not a need. My little putt going to keep putting along for me. And so we have to understand that you got to live within your budget, and you have to understand your financial situation, because your financial situation should always dictate what you're doing. Not your desires, but your financial situation. Rhea, I hope you listen. That's a drop for you. And everybody else who's young and listening, or those who are older who are listening who like to buy a lot of wants. See, the Milwaukee Common Council, they lack financial discipline. It is very clear to me that they lack financial discipline, and they look at a problem and they just say, well, I guess we could just tax people more, right? We'll let the taxpayers handle that. And with this move of them taking away Cavalier Johnson's veto, we now here in Milwaukee should expect for our property tax value, because with the move, the property taxes of medium value home will increase to about $90 per person. Now, again, y'all might be saying it's only $90, but hell, it's only $90. And that could be more if your house is worth more than the median value of home. In addition to that, the city's vehicle registration fee will now increase $11. So now when you register your vehicle, which, oh my goodness, I got to do, you're going to be paying $11 more. Now, to the mayor's credit, he let people know that this would put an additional burden on we, the taxpayers. He said that. And I agree with him. He was being transparent and honest about that. Truth Nation, I promise y'all that we are being run by a bunch of non-fiscally responsible leaders here in the city of Milwaukee. From top to bottom. What their plan is to kick the can down the road just like everybody else did. They see a problem, they say, we'll kick it to somebody else. You can have it. 10 years from now, I won't be here on this position. Somebody else will deal with that. That's what they continue to do, kick the can down the road. And I have said it before, Milwaukee loves to tax people to fix the problem. They love to do that. And I want to know, when will people wake up? When will people wake up to accept the fact that we live in a society where we cannot please everyone? Hell, they definitely ain't pleasing me, but you cannot please everyone. For us to sit up here and argue and debate about Sunday library hours is ridiculous to me. I like the library. I don't go to it. But we talking about Sunday library hours. Rhea, how much would you pay? Not you, but how much do you think the city should pay? This is a tough question. How much do you think the city should be paying to keep the library open on extended hours on Sundays? How much do you think will be a budget for that, for paying people, security staff, all that?
I would say enough, depending on what else we're willing to cut, though.
Well, that's the problem. We have $800,000. It's going to cost us up to $800,000 to keep these not open, but extended hours open on Sundays. $800,000 a year. You said what?
What time do they close now?
I think like 4. I had to check and see. But they had it last year and they wanted to extend it again for this year, and Cavalier Johnson wanted to cut it. And so overall, for me, Truth Nation, when I think about this, I feel like that money could have been reinvested in other places outside the library. People will survive without having extended Sunday library hours. But again, in Milwaukee, we have incompetent leadership that isn't focused on doing what is right for us. They swear they care about everyone, but simply are doing things to make the city completely unaffordable. They give themselves raises by raising our taxes. I want y'all to understand that. That is what they do. You literally are seeing that we're having to pay more out of pocket because people are getting raises. But they say they are for you, we the people, but indeed they are not for you. In reality, they mean they are for themselves. And I think that is too far often here in the city of Milwaukee that we have to face that. That our politicians are making decisions that are not about being fiscally responsible. They're not about making sure that you clean up the mess that we have. And again, a lot of the folks in power, they weren't around 10 years ago. They weren't around 20 years ago. So a lot of them did not make this mess, but it is their job to try to fix it, not kick the can down the road. And again, I could talk about white liberals all day because they get on my nerves. And Marina Dmitrievich is a white liberal who is representing like the Bayview area. She talks, speak, and spin just like a white liberal would. It's all about services, which again, it's about services and providing care. And kids need to go to libraries. They got to be able to read. They focus on that versus focusing on what's the most important thing. Rhea, why are you looking at me like that?
Libraries are really important.
Libraries are really important. I'm not saying close a library, but I'm saying, like, listen, it's not worth the extra investment. You can go, if you need to go to the library earlier, then you do that.
Not everyone has that time.
Oh,
and availability to do so.
No, they better make some.
If that's in the consequence of, okay, we need to give better transportation, more dollars to that, then I get it. So people can get to the library. Well, with transportation, the city, Milwaukee County, the bus had to cut lines. You got the hop that don't go nowhere. We just a city full of bad decisions. That's what we are. We're a reflection of bad decisions. We got a dang building in downtown Milwaukee that had to stop development because of bad investment. But 833-212-1017. On the other side, I'll share my final thoughts on today's show, talking about the lack of leadership that we have here in the city of Milwaukee. And again, I want to know, y'all, are our leaders more focused on maintaining their position or actually changing the city of Milwaukee, the landscape of Milwaukee, the vision of Milwaukee? 833-212-1017. I want to hear from y'all next.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
So let me ask you, when the government, and again, I'm doing the air quotes, tightens the belt, who's standing underneath the belt when it snaps back?
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
Don't want you to agree. Honestly, should I be transparent? I don't really care if you agree. I, like you, want to be heard.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 101.7 The Truth.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
What up, Truth Nation? If you are ever looking for homeowners insurance, car insurance, life insurance, renter insurance, look no further than American Family Insurance. And what I love about AmFam is you can bundle and save. You want to bundle your car insurance and home insurance and life insurance, you can bundle and you can save money. So go to amfam.com today to get a quote instantly online or to find an agent near you. That is amfam.com to get an insurance quote instantly online or find an agent near you. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
Host an unforgettable outing and create special memories with your crew at a Milwaukee Bucks game. Groups of 10 or more can score ticket savings, block seating, and take part in special activities on game days. Showcase your team's talents on center court, score a high five from the pros, and more. There are great options for groups of all sizes. Start planning your ultimate Bucks basketball game day experience today at bucks.com/groups. That's bucks.com/groups.
Gruber Law Offices, serving the people of Wisconsin for over 30 years. Call us today if you've been injured. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
For general contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
One, two, three, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host, Kyle Wallace, on 1017 The Truth. And you can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And White Widow on YouTube said, libraries are heating places for the homeless. They also charge up their phones. They read, they go on computers, staff welcomes them. BS to cut it out. Well, listen. It is a shame that the homeless folks got to go to a library. Maybe we should invest $800,000 each year that we're cutting. Maybe we should reinvest that in building more homeless houses, maybe small homes for homeless. And that the homeless situation is so hard because a lot of these folks who are homeless, having that level of stability in the home is just not mentally ready for that. They not at all. But I appreciate y'all, Truth Nation. Tomorrow, y'all think your boy Donald Trump, he fell asleep. Dozy Don fell asleep today during a cabinet meeting. I tell y'all, tomorrow I'm going to talk about Donald Trump. I'm going to talk about a good thing about Donald Trump. I'm going to tell y'all something about Donald Trump that there was a good thing that I haven't gotten to, but I'm going to get to it. So while he taking naps, look at him, Rhea, look at him. Oh, he just woke up, falling asleep. Dozy Don, falling asleep behind the wheel. Y'all need to stop. Can we stop? Can we just say in 2028, if you are over the age of 70, just don't do it, okay? We can't go from Joe Biden to Donald Trump. They both falling asleep behind the wheel. This is ridiculous. In a cabinet meeting on TV, you falling asleep. This is embarrassing. But tomorrow I will tell y'all something I did like that he did. But in addition to that, I have so much more. Truth Nation, I appreciate y'all chiming in on YouTube. Make sure y'all always go back and listen to any of your favorite shows by downloading the 1017 The Truth app. Make sure y'all always watch back on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a share as well. I'll be joining 620 WTMJ today at 5:05 to talk about Mandela Barnes entering the race, so y'all can tune in to 620 WTMJ at that time. But the Tory Lowe Show is up next from 1 to 4. Truth Nation, peace out. I love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow.
That funky soul. The girls on standing out there. Drive that funky soul.
Need a way to hype up your day?
This is Lorenzo.